Folks, welcome to your week. It's so bad it's good. It's a pop culture roundup. We do it every Monday with the co-host of the fantastic Snarkbait, the one, the only, Sophie Ross Brooks, who just celebrated a birthday this week. Welcome back.
Hi. By the
Hi.
way, I know I look like shit right now if you're watching me on YouTube. Thank God for the little like touch-up feature that StreamYard has.
Dude, I don't think I use the touch-up feature. I mean, but my God, you don't have anything to worry about compared to me. But most people listen to this show. I mean, no offense to YouTube. Hello, hi, how are you? But I don't think you have to worry at all. You're good.
Also, you shouldn't use the touch-up feature. Like, you're a guy.
I don't use the touch-up feature. In fact, you're telling me this touch-up
Keep it that way.
You know what? There is, I will say, Zoom, we have to use Zoom sometimes for interviews, and it automatically touches me up, and I look like a little China girl, like a little I look like a what are the lady boys? Is that what you call them? What do you? I look very pretty when I'm on Zoom.
Oh my God. But yeah, so I celebrated my birthday. My birthday was last Thursday. But we celebrated like yesterday, Saturday. Yeah. And it was so gorgeous out. It was like that fool's spring or whatever when it was like 80 degrees and sunny. And then by nighttime, it was like 35 degrees and freezing. And Henry was like in a t-shirt. And I was like, we're so stupid. Why did we dress like this? We're so dumb. But we were out all day. And then we went to Nikki Glazer.
Nikki, did she bring up hosting the Golden Globes?
She did talk. You know what's funny is that she was like, see, I knew Nikki Glazer, like, obviously before the Tom Brady roast. And also I watched F-Boy Island, which she hosted. But she was like, I think a lot of you guys discovered me from the roast and blah. Like, the Tom Brady roast was really like a turning point for her career, it sounds like, which I didn't fully grasp. How huge that was for her. And I mean, she was amazing, obviously, on the Tom Brady roast. That was like just unbelievable. But yeah, she was hilarious.
No,
and
those roasts.
I was just going to say, she makes a lot of jokes about like spray tans, nails, vagina. And I looked over at Henry and I just don't think he like fully like grasped some of the jokes.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I kept looking over at him and he had a straight face. And I was like, are you good? But
like
he was
all the probably
girls...
freezing because he only wore a t-shirt. He was like in hypothermia.
That's true. That's true also.
It was your birthday. You get to celebrate the way you want to celebrate.
Yeah.
We wish you a very happy birthday. Now, I want to remind people, Snarkbait, which we do talk about all the time on this show, you guys covered Jake Shane this week, and I thought that was fascinating because Jake Shane has a podcast. I don't know if you guys listen to it, Therapist, and he had Lisa Rinna. Lisa Rinna was a guest, and what I was so flabbergasted by, and it's at the same point, like I'm kind of happy because it's like I'm glad young people are watching Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and appreciating things, but he let her just talk out of her ass. And like, once again, she doesn't seem to understand why she blamed the audience. She said the reason that she left the show was because of the intense scrutiny and criticism from viewers because it became too overwhelming. And she says, it wasn't Bravo, it wasn't the girls, it was the fan base. They villainized me in a way, and I just didn't want to live like that anymore. And that led to her exit. Sophie, your thoughts?
She villainized herself.
Yes.
First of all. And I think that she gladly took on that role of villain.
Yes. I mean,
I'm sorry.
Well, I see. Okay, the first couple seasons with Rinna, I mean, listen, she's a legend in terms of housewives. But those last couple of seasons, the fact that I don't like when people leave the show and then they don't have an accurate understanding of their place on the show, and then people gas them up. And like, no offense to Jake Shane, but like, I don't think he's been there from the beginning. And you can appreciate Rinna because she's like iconic in a sense. But like, my God, you got to push back a little bit and go, you kind of got lost, you got lost in the weeds in those last couple of seasons. And it wasn't the fan, like she was attacking women right and left, and the fan base reacted to her behavior.
Yeah, exactly. And also, do you really think that she left the show by her own volition?
I think it was a mutual understanding between Bravo and Lisa. But I think it's interesting because she'll always be like, and that's why I was done with it. And I'll never come back again. But like lately she's been doing little hints of, if I were to come back, or if I were, dude, listen, we need to get past all of these so-called legends and just make the show good again, like at its core.
She would definitely come crawling back.
Yes!
If Bravo asked her, of course she
Sophie,
would.
it's free money in a sense. Like, I know she's at the fashion shows and she has a level of fame now because of her past work, but mainly because of reality TV, that she is welcome into these spaces. And young people, they kind of adore her because they're like, who is this crazy older lady that dances in her bedroom? And
I'm Lisa Rinna.
Yeah, I'm Lisa Rinna. I'm eating Harry's Bolognese.
But also, like, that's why these celebrities, that's why like Jake Shane and Alex Cooper and these terrible interviewers.
Alex Cooper and Chappell Roan, did you listen to that this week?
Oh my God. We actually talk about this on Dark Energy Tuesday, our episode of Snarkbait that comes out tomorrow. But Chappell Roan could not be more unlikable if she tried. Just like, shut up.
Okay, but Sophie, what I do, like, listen, Chappell Roan, her for that album is so damn good. And the thing is, she's at a level of fame that I was almost, no offense to Alex Cooper, but I was almost like, why did you Call Her Daddy? Because I know it's like one of the #1 podcasts, but did you need that? Like, you have enough fame. Like, and also Alex Cooper, you don't get any kind of like in-depth conversation. You get these conversations that are geared towards 3 video clips. There's going to be 3 things that Page 6 and the rest of the press pick up on, but you're not going to get like this in-depth like understanding. You want her to say something disparaging towards women with children and say they're not happy. You get these kind of little sound bites, but you don't leave those interviews feeling like this person any better. You just feel like it's part of the celebrity like
PR machine.
Cog. Yeah, the PR machine, exactly.
Yeah, I was just going to say, that's literally what it is. It's Call Her Daddy is a PR machine, but in Chappell Roan's case, it was horrible PR. And if I were her team, like the LeBron thing, that's like when he was talking about politics, people were like, just shut up and dribble.
Yeah, just shut up and dribble.
But that's what I want to say to Chappell Roan.
Well, listen, the thing is, it doesn't take away from her music, but I'm like, she's at a place with her music where it's so good that you don't need to do stupid interviews like Call Her Daddy. Like, there's no, what is the benefit except for just getting more people? I don't know. I'm so confused.
It'd be one thing if she were likable and good at interviews, but she is so unlikable because all she does is complain about how hard it is to be famous and wealthy and successful and influential. It's like, we don't fucking feel bad for you. Shut the fuck up.
Well, I love people that are put off by fame, but I usually don't listen to them talk about it because they're put off by fame. See, they don't do interviews. Yeah. Like, if you're put off by fame, don't do the interviews. Your music speaks for itself. You're in a great position where you don't need to do that. What did you guys find out about Jake Shane? What was your angle on Jake?
Honestly, there's no big scandal with Jake. Christy and I wanted to do him because
it's just that he comes from money, right?
Yes. So Christy and I have always gotten dark energy from him. And that's kind of how we started running with the term dark energy, because like he is quintessentially like, there's no reason to not like him, but he seems like a mean girl, like he just gives mean girl, and he's friends with all of the pretty popular girls like Olivia Jade, what's her name? Sophia Richie, Alex Earl, like all the it girls. And what we've kind of deduced is that he's not necessarily a Nepo baby. Like, he is, like, his dad's a screenwriter. And he definitely came from like privilege, went to USC, University of Spoiled Children. But he was very strategic about who he befriended. He ended up befriending like Rick Caruso's daughter, billionaire daughter. Like,
Rick Caruso?
Yes.
Oh my God.
So he has befriended every rich, pretty, connected, hot it girl. And then that has really propelled his career. So it's not that he's necessarily a Nepo baby. He's connected. He's like a Nepo friend, which is like good.
You ever think about that yourself, like Sophie, about like listen, I have high hopes that you are going to be the most famous somewhere down the line. But like, I always think for me, I'm like, I read so many celebrity autobiographies and biographies, and they all were like around famous people or like famous parents.
Yeah.
And you can connect the dots. Like, I'm reading a book about the actress Ione Skye. She wrote about her life. She was the actress from Say Anything. I don't know if you guys watch Say Anything. It's from the late 80s. Beautiful film. But like, she grew up with all of these famous people, like John Cusack. She dated like Anthony Kiedis from the Red Hot Chili Peppers and like had this string of boyfriends. She married one of the Beastie Boys. And it was like all of these people she grew up around. And Jake Shane seems like that for the influencer set. But do you ever go like, damn, I should have had more famous friends growing up and that would have helped me in my career?
I mean, sure. You have to be really good at bootlicking, and I'm not. And I'm also like not like I don't have the energy. Who has the energy to social climb? I don't want to leave my apartment.
Oh my God. The energy.
Yeah.
Guys, have you noticed this thing as you get older where you start to have less energy? Have you noticed this?
Oh, that's a thing? I've never heard that.
Hey, what's the deal with not having energy as you get older?
What's the deal with aging and going to bed by 9 p.m.?
Oh my God. So like, listen, I know this is a pop culture podcast, but this is kind of a pop culture story because I usually don't have a lot of nights where I'm like not working in some form. And so last night was one of those, and Rebecca and I don't advise this for people at home. This is not my normal thing. I'm not really drinking anymore. But I had some wacky tobacco. I don't know. I don't want to say anything more. And
you mean the devil's lettuce?
I don't know. I don't want people to say I have a problem, but I don't usually. And we had a little wacky tobacco. And you guys, have you discovered this thing called YouTube? We went down a YouTube rabbit hole. It was insane. So we went from, I'm trying to think what we all like. We watched some insane, like we started. There was a reality show back in the 90s about Dave Navarro when he was married to Carmen Electra.
Oh my God, I loved that show.
It was called Till
again?
Death Do Us Part. And it was
yes.
It was so huge in my mind. And then we went down a rabbit hole and we found out there was only 7 episodes of this show. And we tried to find it on YouTube and we found a lot of behind the scenes stuff. And then we were trying to find clips. And then we found out that Dave Navarro actually this weekend, you guys, got married to a new lady, Vanessa Dubasso, and this dude, he got married in a Scottish castle, and it was a 3-day wedding event this past week. He is 57 years old. She is, guess how old she is?
22.
31. So she's older than you thought.
Oh my. Yeah. Oh, wow.
It's age appropriate.
That is appropriate. Okay.
Okay. But so there was like 3 days of events, and this dude loves a gothic vibe. He has like a forest ceremony. It's by an ethereal castle. It's surrounded by a towering forest, a serene lake, and the ruins of the castle. And Navarro said, we wanted our wedding to feel like a dream. It was important to us to find a place that felt unlike anywhere we had ever been, a place that embraced nature and transported us to another world. We wanted our loved ones to share in this intimate experience. And so it's a 3-day event. There were like geese hunting. I don't know. There was like a bunch of weird shit. But
they're doing like a traitors challenge.
No, we said that. We were like, oh my God, what if Alan Cummings like, you're a traitor? Okay, so
wait,
out of nowhere.
I'm sorry, this is so niche. I just have to say this. Do you know the photographer like Dave LaChapelle or whatever?
Yes.
Every time I hear his name, I remember him doing it was like a coffin themed photo shoot
Dude,
on that
Sophie,
show.
That's a clip we found last night. He was like, of course I love to be shot by Dave LaChapelle. You guys, Carmen Electra and Dave Navarro used to be married, and this was after she had been with Dennis Rodman. And it was like in the heyday of MTV reality shows. It was like, what's up, MTV? Yeah. Welcome to my crib. But he used to like sleep in a coffin, Dave Navarro, before Carmen Electra. So he is married again. And then out of nowhere, there's like just all of the facts about the wedding. And then all of a sudden, guess who's at his wedding this past week?
Carmen Electra.
Pete Davidson. How does Pete Davidson have a connection to Dave Navarro from Jane's Addiction?
Because he's a good social climber. Similar to Jake Shane.
Wait, do you think Dave Navarro is more famous at this point than Pete Davidson in terms of younger people knowing who Dave Navarro is?
No, but I think, okay, I take that back. He's good at networking and connecting and making friends, and maybe it's just because he's an extrovert. Maybe there aren't any ulterior motives, but I'm impressed by that.
Listen, next wedding I have, I want Pete Davidson to be there, no doubt. I know you invited him to your wedding, but this, I just thought it was like out of nowhere because I know Pete Davidson's friends with like John Mulaney and people like that, but Dave Navarro, I didn't see that one. And then the wedding pics, you guys, go look this up. People Magazine has an exclusive, and Dave Navarro has more makeup on than the bride. He has like dark, smoky eyes, like just painted, and he's like, you can just tell he's like a tiny little dude, and he has all this black gothic leather on and like chaps and boots. And so we went down this rabbit hole, and then I don't know how we got then we got into, do you remember, this is like, I'm obviously older than you, but there was a show that like had us all in a grip if you were a kid in the 90s, Double Dare on Nickelodeon.
Oh, I do remember that show. TBT.
We got into watching reruns of Double Dare on YouTube, and it was like it was like really shitty staticky quality. And then Mark Summers, the host, he's like really good at hosting Double Dare. And we ended up finding like an hour and a half documentary about the history of Double Dare, and it was just some dude that made a documentary on YouTube. Like, it wasn't an official streaming documentary, but it was weirdly like a really good documentary about Double Dare.
Was there like some dark history that comes from Double Dare?
There was no, thank God there wasn't dark history, but it was just like the invention of Nickelodeon and the slime and like the different, like, you know, Double Dare exploded in popularity and it got syndicated. You know, it was just like, it never had like the Boogie Nights fall off moment where Mark Summers was like railing lines of cocaine at a certain point. Like, he seemed like he was always just
like
a good guy.
Diggler?
Yeah, exactly.
Dirk
there
Diggler?
was never... But it was like, I miss nights like that where we had a really fun night where we were just
that's a nice Saturday night.
Dipping in and out of like pop culture little like moments from our past.
My favorite like throwback shows to turn on. Did you ever watch Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yeah, I mean, there was I was a little over that, but yes, I'm very aware of Are You Afraid of the Dark?
I was so obsessed with Are You Afraid of the Dark? So that... and the Goosebumps, the original Goosebumps. And you guys know I'm a fan of like
you love the new
Goosebumps.
Yeah.
I love any form of Goosebumps, but like those are my favorite shows as a child. And I would get so excited when they were on TV. And the fact that I can watch them on demand now when I'm like high or whatever, or just like when I'm not high, is something that I don't take for granted.
No, I don't really mess around on YouTube that much. So it was like insane just going and trying to find these things. And I just remember that Dave Navarro, Carmen Electra reality show was like, I remember that being such a big thing. And then to find out it was only 7 episodes blew my mind.
It was like, that was such an era. Like Travis Barker and Scheana Moakler had one. Remember his ex-wife?
Yes, of course.
And then
Meet the Barkers, right?
This was like VH1 obviously had like Rock of Love and that
Flavor of Love and
Flavor
all of that
of
stuff.
Love and Tila Tequila.
Tila Tequila, Tila Tequila really lost it. But he created so many reality stars, so it's interesting to see where reality television is now. And now we have we're 2 weeks away pretty much from season 2 of The Valley, and Jax Taylor is in full swing on doing press. And this week we have a Page 6 article where he keeps talking about hitting rock bottom, about leaving to go to rehab for the second time. And he says, I was in my house by myself for months. I wasn't eating, I was drinking and doing enough cocaine to kill a small horse. I was on a full-time tear. Dude, can you imagine being a small horse and having Jax Taylor kill you? How much cocaine does it take to kill a small horse? Is that a figure of speech, or was he really doing that much cocaine?
Like a brick a week? I don't know.
That is what, at some point too, and I know, I encourage reality stars to be completely truthful, but is there a certain point where you should dial it back of you don't need to bring up potentially killing a small horse by doing cocaine?
Also, it's I'm sorry to giggle when you mentioned Jax Taylor talking about hitting rock bottom. I'm like, how many rock bottoms are there?
Well, yeah, how many? Has there been has there been times in the past where he thought he hit rock bottom and then he realized that was the middle, and then he was
it was like the cliff. It was like a cliff, he hadn't gone over the edge yet.
Oh my God!
It's just he keeps sinking.
Well, I think I'm not allowed to say the full details of this, but I did ask if I could say I was going to be a part. I'm filming some sort of promo with certain cast members of The Valley this week, and I'm very interested to see how this goes. And if you don't hear from me from Wednesday on, just call the police. That's all.
What are you referring to?
I can't, I will tell you off. I'm not allowed to say specifically what is happening, but I am filming something for Bravo with with certain cast members of The Valley.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but also this could be a trap. This literally, this is happening on April Fool's Day. So they could just be calling me over there to potentially kill me and get rid of my body before the season starts.
This could be like a Saw trap. Yeah.
Yeah, they said, do you want to play a game? Do enough coke where it kills a small horse, or you will perish. Oh my God, I can't take it. Oh wait, listen. I was so curious your thoughts on this week's. Now I just call it Summer Charm because Summer House and Southern Charm are so linked in my mind, even though they're two very different shows. But I just, as a girl and as a Jesse Solomon apologist in a lot of ways, how did you take it when those last moments of, say you're in an orgy, and I'm like, I know I'm prude, but I want to say I'm in full support of orgies. I'm not bad mouthing orgies at all. Say your husband or your boyfriend before he was your husband, right? Say he's at a summer share house. He lets himself into a threesome that is happening, and he doesn't. Let's say he doesn't let them touch them. But he stays in there for 37 minutes. Would you be mad?
Okay, so that wasn't that. I feel like that's not what happened.
Well, that's what he's saying.
That's what he's saying, that he just barged into this threesome. I think that it was pre-planned that Emerald was going to bring 2 girls home. One of them was going to be for Jesse all along.
Wait, you've now roped it. Emerald's the only honest one here. Like he's a little gross, but he's like the only honest one.
I feel bad because I was defending Emerald last week. Maybe on So Bad It's Good, but also on Snarkbait. I was like, guys, I think there's more to him than just being ridiculously horny.
Well, we haven't seen it yet.
And then I watched What Happens Live. All he talked about was sex and orgies. I got such an ick from him.
Well, imagine being a woman at the share house when you are just getting to know Emerald and the only thing you see from him is like remember old episodes of Jersey Shore when the ladies would get upset at the guys like letting girls stay over and bring them home? Like eventually that's going to make somebody upset if that's all we see from Emerald at night. Like they have their shit there. We don't know who we're bringing into the summer house.
I also think it's really crazy that people are shipping, and by people I mean the housemates are shipping Jesse and Sierra.
Am I not? Then I feel like production is doing a bad job because you've set up Jesse to be a literal creep after this week that I would not recommend him to any. If you were friends with Sierra, how in a million years would you encourage that? He does the same thing to every girl. He's like, oh my God, you're the best. You got huge cans. I love it.
Want to have a slumby?
Oh my God. If he doesn't fucking start saying like full words,
I know. He goes, you're giving really neggy energy to Wes.
Did you have any Hampy Wah? Did you have any Hampton Water this weekend?
Yeah, I think it's insane that Amanda, even on Watch What Happens Live, like last week, was like, I would love for Sierra to end up with Jesse. And it's like, why are you trying to make her look dumb again? All she does is look dumb by these Bravo fuckboys over and over again. They always make her look stupid. Also, like, what happened to being a girl's girl? Because he is, as they know at this time, last summer, in a situationship with Lexi. So it's like they're trying to fuck Lexi over. They're trying to fuck Sierra over. It's just like, oh my God. I don't understand. Don't call yourselves girls anymore. I'm sorry.
But also, he's like literally setting Lexi up to like take the fall for his behavior.
Yeah.
He's like literally going to be like, dude, she doesn't want me to be Jesse. She doesn't want me to be out there. Like, it is so weird. Imagine a guy tells you, he's like, I miss you so much. I masturbated before I went to this party. Like, is that impressive that you like touch? Like, how is that like a good thing? And you still manage to like horn dog all over Sierra the whole party.
Yeah.
And then he goes, oh, I love Sierra. She's such a good person. He's playing both sides of the fence here.
Yeah. And also the fact that she like was flattered by that. But he said that he had to jack off before the party because he was maybe going to like cheat on her if he didn't. What did you think of West this episode?
Wah.
I know.
Oh, I don't get it, Amanda. I've been so kind to her. I've only talked to the New York Times 2 times. And I've done everything the nicest way. And it's not fair. She's saying it to my friends now. And it's not true, Amanda. Like, dude, man up, dude. Aren't you a sports guy? Man the fuck up.
I didn't say anything rude.
I know. I've been so good. You don't know, Amanda. Like, by the way, I want him to be honest to Sierra's face.
Yeah,
like,
say it to Sierra. He just talks about her. He doesn't say it to her face.
Yeah, but also I love Jesse going, bro, I got you. And then he'll be like, hey, will you talk to Wes a little bit more? She'll be like, Yeah, but I mean, like, I'm weird. He's like, you got huge melons, by the way. Like, he'll say one thing, and then he'll use the rest of the conversation to horn dog all over her himself. And I love how and then you have the most emotional cast members of Summer House together. You have Craig and Kyle talking about Spritzer Wars. And that was really fun to watch with them in pirate outfits on a little inflatable dinghy. And then also, I mean, obviously watching Paige actively be fully grossed out by Craig.
She's so grossed out by him. Every time that you could see them like in the bed together or whatever, he was trying to snuggle with her and she would like push him off of her.
I mean, and you know what it is? Like, I think maybe it's just like the way Summer House shoots Craig. He does seem so much smaller and like less attractive when he's in the Summer House.
Yeah.
But on Southern Charm, he like is very attractive to me.
Like,
he's
not.
Really?
No, he's not.
See, I feel like they almost like he's almost just weaker on Summer House when he's there, where he becomes like the nagging boyfriend.
He becomes the beta.
Yeah, but it's weird because like on Watch What Happens Live, Craig said he was on there with Austin and Shep, and he said, I wasn't seeing any clues. You don't know the relationship off camera. Dude, like we saw enough clues this episode. And obviously she was talking about it to Sierra and Amanda specifically about Craig. So this seems like this really wasn't a shock what was happening. Maybe he just wasn't picking up on any context clues at all.
Yeah, he's delusional. Also, have you noticed that he has like really small hands? Speaking of being small, he's like very small hands and feet.
No, I've not noticed that. No.
Well, just pay attention to it.
Well, okay, but now you know that. Well, I talked about this on the recap. He has a new lady love. He talked about on Watch What Happens Live.
Yeah,
and Demois outed her as this buffet girl,
Natalie
Buffet, and she used to date Dax Prescott, who is a football player, right?
Oh, I didn't know that, but he is.
They
Correct.
dated until like 2023, and now she's with potentially Craig. And that's, I mean, Craig just needs somebody. He seems like he needs somebody that he can lead the boat completely.
Yeah, he needs to be the star of the relationship, and he needs someone that will just like work, like her life will revolve around him, and he's the star. He needs to be the more successful, famous star of the relationship, and that obviously just was not the situation with Paige.
Did you hear him give a warning to America on Watch What Happens Live?
Oh, when he said, I advise all of you to not act like that because I think it's disgusting. Are you talking about that?
Yeah, he was talking about Sierra. He goes, I advise all of America to not be like that. And I was like, is Craig running for office?
Yeah, he was talking about how Kyle and Amanda and Sierra were like his friends before the breakup, and they've been just talking shit about him and ripping on him. And he goes, yeah, I advise America to not act like that. It's disgusting.
Well, the thing I'm curious about is that he said on Watch What Happens Live that he said he sold the engagement ring he bought for Paige. He sold it back that morning. Like, could we get, like, I know this is his business, but he brought it up. But like, if there are thoughts in the midseason trailer, it says like Paige said, I don't know if he's lying about buying a ring in the first place.
Yeah.
Could we see like a receipt or something?
Yeah, it's like we don't believe you, Craig. We do not believe you.
I don't want to hurt his feelings, but like it would just help if we saw a receipt or something. You know?
Wait, I love how on the finale of Southern Charm, he was like, we're definitely going to be engaged by the end of the year. And I think we're both really excited about it. Like he's so delusional and insane.
Did you see the Southern Charm reunion?
I watched half of it and then I got bored. I was like, I don't care about like 75% of these people.
It was better than the finale, but it was just like, I just love like Shep, you're doing so much better. And I'm like, compared to what? Like, Shep was like, I mean, like, I love that. I mean, it's just like the bar is set so low for us men that it's like Shep gets a pat on the back. And then poor Molly, like, I mean, not poor Molly because she wanted to, but they're like, you know, obviously slept together, but they're not seeing each other anymore. But she seems open to the possibility. And it's like, at some point, like, women need to stop giving men chances like this. Like, don't be open to the possibility. Like, wait till somebody's fully into you, right?
Yeah. I mean, Molly can definitely do better than Shep, let's be honest. But I guess like I will say that Shep looks better. He looks like he looks less puffy. He looks less red. He looks like a little bit fresher faced. And I think that probably is from like cutting back on drinking.
Do you think he's taking the substance?
The substance.
Do you think?
Yeah. Who would be his like younger counterpart?
Who would it be? It would be like who's that? Like Jack Quaid?
Jack Quaid.
Maybe he kind of looks.
I feel like
that.
they're like the same age, but yeah.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm curious of like this mystery that will deepen when in just actuality they didn't belong together. But it'll be interesting to see how Bravo, because it seems like these two casts really are standing up for each other in their own selective casts. So I'm curious to see what happens. And then you have Carl. What did you think of the magician Lil that he's dating this episode? By the way, Sophie, have you ever done a worm in public?
I actually have, and one of my secret talents is doing the worm. Like, I actually can do the worm. It's like one of the only things I can do.
All joking aside, really, is that for real?
I'm being dead
Wait,
ass serious.
I was at your wedding. I didn't see you do a worm.
I know. I should have. I did it at my bat mitzvah. You weren't there though. We didn't know.
You were like
we didn't know each other yet. Yeah, but I can still do the worm. Yeah, love her energy.
Have you ever carried around a magic trick in your purse?
Actually, Henry, my husband has. Henry loves doing magic tricks. It's like the weirdest thing about him.
Wait,
it makes me treat him like Craig. I'm like, get away from me.
Wait, did he do that on any of your first dates? Did he show you magic?
No, luckily he didn't. If he did, we would not be together.
Wait, did he get into magic after you guys started seeing each other?
No, it's something that he's just like had in his back pocket that he just like sometimes like whips out as like a party trick.
Will he do the one where he pulls like a quarter behind your ear?
Yes, he loves that one. I know, it's disgusting.
Oh my God. Okay, back to Beverly Hills real quick. I think this is a so-so season, and I don't think Sophie. I'm sorry, I'm having such like. I think the wacky tobacco like gave me a stroke last night or something.
You're like hungover from it?
I didn't think you could get like wacky tobacco hangovers, but I feel like I have some sort of weird hangover. This week, Erika, Jayne, they picked back up cameras stupidly to talk about the Tom Girardi verdict and like how shocked she was, even though I'm like, how are we shocked at this point? But I wanted to point out to the audience that it is far from over for Erika Jayne, because this week it was announced that she is facing trial in a civil lawsuit accusing her of spending over $24 million of fraudulent funds from Girardi's law firm, Girardi and Keese. And the lawsuit, which was filed by Tom Girardi's bankruptcy trustee, alleges that between 2007 and 2020, Girardi misappropriated firm funds to cover Erika Jayne's expenses. Jayne maintained she was unaware of any financial misconduct. The trial is expected to commence after June of 2025, with both parties preparing witness lists. So this is going to trial. She is going to have to face this. But I don't understand the law enough, and I know some of you guys know out there better than I do. Even if she knew about it, can't she just say, I didn't know about it. He was just giving me money. I didn't ask where it was from. Isn't that like the defense? Isn't that good enough?
I would assume so. Like, how culpable is someone that's, I guess maybe it's like, well, how did you not know? You were married to him and you were with him every day. Like, I don't know. Maybe that's what they'll try to argue is like, well, there's no way you didn't know, you know?
Yeah.
But I don't, guys, I'm stupid. Like, if you haven't gathered that, I'm a fucking idiot.
No, listen, I'm glad she's like, but I just love that her storyline is like, you know, I've gotten through the fire, I've moved on, and it's all him. But no, she's still going to trial. Like she's got a big hill ahead of her. Yeah. And I think she was such an ass about Garcelle leaving Beverly Hills this week on Watch What Happens Live that I thought was so weird. And by the way, there was a rumor out there that Garcelle and Sutton are not talking. I checked into this. I asked my source. They are talking. Garcelle and Sutton are fine.
Yeah, Sutton commented on her Instagram.
Yeah, there was this rumor going around that I keep reading saying they're not talking. That is not true. Also, there's a rumor around saying that they were not going to pick up Garcelle's contract again. I don't know if that were to be true, but Garcelle is the one that decided she was leaving. So after the reunion, I think she was kind of done with it. And even Andy Cohen talked about on his radio show, they had like a 30-minute conversation before she had Watch What Happens Live, going over it. But there's an open door. If she wants to come back at any point, that's great. I just think the show needs a little bit of an overhaul, and it's not just Garcelle. There's more work that needs to be done. I
mean, do you even miss Rinna? Is that where we're at?
No, I don't. I mean, no, God, for no.
Rinna.
Well, that's what I was like. Lisa Rinna, Fox Force 5. Like, is evil just winning out everywhere right now? Like, is evil just winning hands down? My God.
Yeah. Good doesn't always prevail.
But I mean, so true. But I also I love somebody that goes, listen, yeah, I was a little bit horrible in those last. Like if Rinna would just be like, my God, I watched it back, I was a fucking train wreck. You know,
no,
like,
it's never her fault. She's so insufferable.
But it's not even just her. I see that all the time with people, even
Hannah
in our real lives.
Hannah Burner.
Yeah, it's always somebody else's fault. They always just stick to it, and eventually that becomes
the
reality.
editors. It was the editors. It's like, well, we literally watched those words come out of your mouth. Like, shut up.
It's just so fun. It's really flipping frustrating.
Yeah.
Okay, can you explain to the audience? I was following this as an older man does. Remy Bader, who is an influencer, she has lost a shit ton of weight. Now, Remy Bader, I would see all the time. You know, she was a influencer, but also somebody that was teaching you to love your body, a plus size influencer. She was a bigger girl, I guess, but she would also post things crying about her weight and her body and all of the emotions. And she was dating somebody, and that person, they broke up. And I think he said it was something to do with her looks. This week, or in the last week and a half, she was on Khloe Kardashian's podcast. By the way, you can find Khloe Kardashian's podcast. I think it's exclusively on X as a video podcast.
It was exclusive on like the first day that it came out.
Okay, so it's on X. So Khloe Kardashian has a podcast, and Remy Bader was on, and Remy Bader revealed finally what a lot of people suspected, that she got like a gastric bypass surgery or
gastric bypass with a gastric sleeve, which is called like Sadie S surgery. And we actually talked about this for literally like 30 minutes on tomorrow's episode of Dark Energy Tuesday of Snarkbait, because I have a lot to say on it. I have been following this for a really long time. I'm like an OG Remy Bader fan. We even did a whole.
People are upset. Like,
people are very really upset. And they're not upset about the fact that she lost weight. It's not like, oh my God, you were supposed to be fat forever. That is not why people are mad. People are mad because she got the surgery in December 2023, and people were noticing that she was rapidly losing weight. She said that she lost 140 pounds in less than a year. It was very rapid and very apparent. And she was gaslighting her followers. Her followers would say, what's your secret? Like, blah, blah, blah. She would block them. She would imply that it was diet and exercise. She would post videos of her at the gym, like being like, this is what hard work and dedication and choosing yourself does. And so she thinks that she kind of like, there's like a loophole because she's like, well, I didn't outright deny it. And no one guessed the exact surgery. Everyone was guessing gastric bypass or gastric sleeve, but they didn't know I did both. And so she's kind of, it was lying by omission. And then the fact that she did it on a Kardashian podcast is like salt in the wound to her.
Because there are already like people that like get shit on for like their beauty standards and like achieving a certain beauty standard that people can't achieve without money. Yet they think, they try to make it say that it's attainable to everybody.
Yeah. And I understand also being like, oh, well, she doesn't owe us anything. Like, this is her like private battle. And it's like, well, yes, she doesn't, but she's also a business now. She's not like a private citizen. Like, she is a business that was built on, basically she got her start from doing realistic plus size hauls, and she would try on like different clothing brands and be like, this is how it fits on a bigger body. And she would be funny. And, there's a creator called Francesca Ramsey who made a really good video about it. And it was like the tenets of her brand were honesty, relatability, and being plus size. And she has destroyed all three of them and has alienated all of her followers. It's actually really crazy how much she like fucked all of this up.
Well, see, that's where it is. It's like, it's not like you do whatever you want to do with your life, but that's what the messed up thing about becoming an influencer is that you're making money off of yourself. Yep. It's kind of like the conversation we were talking about with Kyle Richards last week of like, yo, I didn't ask you to make money by showing your real life on camera. That's something you chose to do. Mm-hmm. And then, don't be weirded out when like people are like, we're not getting your real life. We're frustrated. Same thing with Remy Bader. If you're making money off of telling us your truth, and then we find out you're not telling us your truth, and then you use it to catapult to this next level and go, listen, like, it's why, like, I was noticing, then I went on and like, she was like posting drafts from a year ago that she never posted of her getting sick. And I'm like, they're like, now you're trying to monetize over shit you lied about us like a year ago, and now you're like giving us draft posts. It is so dark because that really is her real life. And I would imagine if I'm trying to be empathetic towards her, the wave of hate is one thing, but you like, obviously you're just not in when it comes to like body and your mind and you're making money off of that stuff, you can be in a real dark hole really quickly because that's
Yeah.
not stable ground to make money off of.
Yeah. And look, like there's nothing wrong with getting the surgery. I listened to the podcast and I read the article and I think it was Self Magazine, Shape Magazine, one of those. And she was on the verge of becoming infertile, according to her doctor. She had a constant period. She could not walk. She had a limp. She was in constant pain. She couldn't really do her job as an influencer because she was so heavy and so unhealthy. She didn't have a normal blood test for years. Now she's so much healthier. So it's great. Like, no one, I mean, people might be mad that she got the surgery and she's no longer plus size, but I think the vast majority of her followers are mad that she lied and that she spent the past year body checking and just being like, look how skinny I am now. And like eating, like she would do mukbang videos of her like eating Chick-fil-A while also drastically rapidly losing weight. Like it just is all such a mind fuck.
Inspect like Sophie, when you are looking at influencers or even you as an influencer yourself, like do you really expect these do you really think these influencers are telling you the truth? Like maybe it's just my age where I'm highly skeptical of everybody I bump into or even on the internet. I'm like, no way, that's not true. Like I just don't believe you out of the gate. So it is so hard when people are like, oh man, you were lying to it. Like I just figured she was lying this whole time because I know how my body works. And like I like fucking hike 3 miles a day. I can't drop a pound to save my life.
But you and I are like that. We are like skeptical and cynical in a way where like I knew she was lying. I knew for a fact that she got surgery. It was very obvious. We talked about it. We had a whole episode dedicated to her. It was one of our first episodes of Snarkbait. But the average follower of hers did not realize that. Like they genuinely, I think, were shocked. Genuinely. And I don't blame them. She spent a year gaslighting people.
Yeah.
Like it was insane. Just the fact that she spent the past year being so mean to her followers. It wasn't just that she was gaslighting and lying by omission or whatever we want to say, but when people would ask her in her comments, she'd be so fucking mean to them and make them feel stupid, block them. She's just completely alienated everyone. I don't know how she's going to pivot her content because she's going to have to because she's lost a significant amount of her fans.
I mean, but it's so weird. Like, that's what it cracks me up because it's like a significant amount of her fans. Like, the fact that she had fans to begin with is just wild. Like, that's what it, like, and I don't mean her specifically, but just influencers in general. Because that's where, like, it's really hard, like, in terms of, like, loving pop culture and where we're at now is, like, I never got the Alex Earl thing because I'm an older dude. Like, I shouldn't get the Alex Earl thing. I'm like, oh, yeah, she seems like a pretty blonde girl. Like, I don't get... Like, oh, no, she takes you through the whole day. And I was talking to a younger person that works on Jeff Lewis's show, and I was asking her about, oh, what do you watch on TV? What do you watch movies? She goes, no, I just watch influencers. I was like, really? She's like, yeah.
You know what?
We do the same stuff. We do makeup. I'm like, yeah, but you don't want to watch stories? Like, I felt like so old in that moment.
I was thinking about that, and I know that I've always been like, TikTok is like not, like I don't use TikTok, I think, as much as like the average person maybe.
Yeah.
Lately I have been because there have been a lot of like interesting scandals happening over there. I remember when the Hannah Berner Oscars fiasco was happening, and then there was drama with this influencer named Acquired Style, and then this Remy Bader stuff, and it's all very online things. So I've been just on TikTok watching all of these different people's opinions, and my For You page is like so tailored to me. And I'm like, I can so see now how the kids are like, this is my TV. This is my reality TV.
Well, I don't make a lot of TikToks, but I made like a couple this week just stupidly about like Jesse Solomon. And then it literally gave me all Jesse Solomon TikToks where it was like, we were all pretty much saying the same thing where I was like, that also scared me as well.
You like want to have a slumby?
Yeah, let's push our beds together and show each other our balls. No, I don't know. The influencer thing really just kind of befuddles me because I'm like, there's not a lot of there. Like, even with Alex Cooper, you're like, okay, well, at least even if, you don't like any of the jobs she's doing the show and she's interviewing and she's doing this or that. Like, I don't know. There just seems to be like a vapidness that we invest in that I think is like somewhat dangerous in some ways to invest in just complete vapidness. Like, will people be able to, I don't know, I'm going to get too old manny here, but it's weird.
No, it's true. And I mean, like, I think that a lot of people, if you have like a comfort creator or a favorite influencer, you almost feel like they're your friend. Like, it's a very parasocial thing. And I thought it was interesting also because Remy, like, she's getting so much backlash, obviously, and a barrage of negative comments on her TikTok. Someone replied, like, one of her defenders was like, imagine getting this worked up over what a stranger does with her body. And she liked that comment. And it's like, so now you're a stranger. You've made so much money off of these fans that feel like you're their friend, but now you're just a stranger. Like,
it's a weird thing. Or even people like, you'll get this too, I'm sure, is that, it's like people that listen to the show, they do know me to a degree. And then like you'll meet them and they'll be like, oh, so sorry about your mom or this or that. And you're like, oh my God. And it's not like, I mean, that is kind of weird, but I understand it completely. But then you just feel bad because you don't know anything about them. You're like, oh, what about you? What's going on with you? Like, it's so, it's such a weird kind of thing that nobody prepares you for. So I don't know when you get to somebody like Remy Bader's status or like Alex Earl, like how do you go through life like that with everybody already sort of liking you to your face and then potentially talking shit about you behind your back?
I actually do have a comfort creator, and I don't watch like YouTube vlogs, but I watch her vlogs, and her name is Emma Leger. She's like a random Canadian like fashion girly, and it's comforting to me. Like I feel like I'm friends with her. It's so like 15-year-old girl of me where I'm like, oh Emma, you're so pretty and stylish, but like she is. But anyway, she moved to Paris with her boyfriend because he was going to grad school this past fall. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so jealous for her Parisian little like fantasy that she's living right now. Her boyfriend just broke up with her. She just announced it was so sudden. I'm dying to know what happened.
That's good for the vlogs. That's good.
And she goes, yeah. And she announced it on TikTok and she was like, I'm not going to share what happened because it's so personal. It's like, well, I've been along for the ride for 4 years now.
She's like, but I will be starting a Patreon. I'll put it behind a paywall on Patreon.
Oh, I would pay for it. I like need to know what happens. And I understand why people keep certain things private, but at the same time, again, it's like, but I've been along for the ride. You do owe me something.
Dude, I have a comfort creator too, and it's so bizarre. It's this girl, Corinna Folgieri, and she's like, she's like, I think she goes to college. She's like, but she's like a little different. She's like missing a chromosome, and like, but at the same time, she just takes you through her life. Like she'll like eat like, and she'll be like, and that sort of thing, and that sort of thing. And I know it sounds really crazy, but like we're in love with her. Like we are so into everything she does, and she like loves Wicked, and she loves Taylor Swift, and she went on stage with Chris Olsen at Meghan Trainor's concert, and it was like, holy shit. Corinna fans, there are probably some listening. You know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm in deep with Corinna, and I want the best for her. And I'm really invested.
And that's okay. That's okay. That's like what they're there for,
No, it's very, very weird when you're like, oh, I would watch a show, and then I try to make myself feel better going like, oh, I can make a reality show based around this, so I can feel better that I'm not just watching TikTok. Like, what if we pitch this to MTV? Which, by the way, the third season, I believe, of Love on the Spectrum on Netflix, which I think is just a beautiful reality show, premieres on Wednesday. So if you're looking for something feel good, did you ever watch Love on the Spectrum?
No, I didn't, but I heard amazing things.
It really is beautiful. The new season comes out on Wednesday. I really recommend checking that out. Obviously, The White Lotus is on tonight. Then we have one more episode next Sunday. And then it's over. Like Severance is over.
I told you it was 8 episodes.
You were right. Dude, I went and watched it afterwards. I was like, damn, I thought it was 10 and you said 8. You were totally right.
I was right, per usual.
I'm digging the pit on Max. I'm finally into that.
Are you watching the new season of Top Chef?
No, is it good?
It is good. I mean, I always love Top Chef. I think that Kristen is coming into her own as host. I know that, I think some people have taken it really hard, Padma leaving, but I think that Kristen's doing a great job. So, yeah.
No, she's a star. I mean, Top Chef is one of those shows I always joke about that it's like wild that it's on Bravo because you go from like Southern charm and like people sleeping with younger people. And then it's like people with actual skills making art, like making food and it's art. That's a weird show.
It's the only time Bravo is like won Emmys is because of Top Chef. So they should be kissing the ground that they should be worshiping the house that Tom Colicchio built.
I love Tom Colicchio so much, man.
I know, I love
that
him.
dude. So that's out right now. Also, I said this on Friday, I think, or one of the episodes this week. If you're missing the Traitors right now, $1 Million Secret is on Netflix. It's kind of a Traitors ripoff in a sense. The first 3 episodes are out, but basically they're all at this like mansion called the Stag, and these contestants go in there, and there's $1 million in one of their rooms, and then the other people have to guess who has the $1 million and try to suss them out to win the $1 million. So, I mean, go check it out. I enjoyed the first 3 episodes, but if you're into that competition reality series stuff, it's worth checking out. But you love this. You love Survivor. Are you watching this season?
No.
Dude, it was so emotional this past week.
That's when I heard that Jeff cried.
I cried too. We all cried. There's a girl that has that talked about having autism, but she only revealed it to one cast member. And he like helped her through things. Then they split up the tribes, and she was having a really hard time on this challenge, and she just locked in, but she finally got it, and she ended up taking second place, but she had this emotional outburst, and the only person that knew what was going on was the guy she shared it with, and Jeff let him go over and like hug her because he tries to keep this tribe separated, and he was like, just calm down, ground yourself, and it was so beautiful. And then she was like brave enough to tell everybody there that she was diagnosed with autism, and she was told that she was never going to amount to anything. The best she could hope for was to marry somebody else with autism that her parents were told growing up. And then here she is on Survivor, and she's such a good player. And it was such a beautiful moment that made me realize why I love good reality television that's also somewhat ethical,
Oh, I love that. That's
Wait, why don't you keep? I know you love old Survivor.
Because I've been trying to watch them all in order, and it's not even worth talking. I got to the season 26 where Francesca. Have you watched all of old Survivor?
I think I've missed like 3 or 4 seasons.
So this contestant Francesca is one where they brought back old contestants. They brought back Francesca, who was first voted out on her previous season. She gets brought back, and she gets voted out first again. Spoiler alert for something that aired over a decade ago. No, it makes me sad. And then I was reading a catch-up interview with her that Entertainment Weekly did during the pandemic, and she said it made her so depressed. She got voted out first on both seasons that she was on. That's so sad. And then I just needed a break. I might just skip that season, honestly.
Dude, I really feel in my bones, if I ever did one of these shows, I'd get voted out first. Like, I feel it. Like,
I would too. And then I would be so depressed.
Oh, it would rock me. It would be like we never saw him again. Like, he quit everything after that.
I feel the same way about people that get like on the Traitors. I'm like, wait, this is actually really sad.
No, and you could tell like when Dorinda got let go so early.
Yeah, she was so upset.
You could tell it like cut her deep.
Did you see the rumors that they might bring her back for the next one?
I did. Like, listen, I do know, and I've said this on the show, Dorinda has a good in with NBC Universal. They bring her to all the events. They show her off like a prize. So she has a really good relationship. So I don't think that's impossible. But did you see the rest of the rumored cast, like Nick Vialli and New York, Tiffany Pollard, which I'm like, I think these are just rumors because Tiffany Pollard, I love New York, but she was already on 2 seasons of House of Villains. And I feel like this is a good opportunity to bring new people that we don't see all the time. That's what's so good about Traitors is you don't need to dip into what we've seen on all of these other shows thus far, unless it's like a competition. Player.
If Nick Vialli went on and got like the Wells treatment and got banished first, I would be so happy.
No, but think about it, Sophie. He might go all the way to the end, and then you'd have to deal with him winning.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
A couple quick things before we go, you guys. Sydney Sweeney and Glenn Powell reunite in Dallas after she called off wedding to fiance Jonathan Davino. Now, they don't know if the engagement between Sydney Sweeney and her fiance is truly over. It seems like she has removed some Instagram posts of them, but Glenn Powell, who was her star on Anyone But You, is that the movie it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, they reunited this weekend, and there were pictures together. They were at their Glenn Powell's sister Leslie's wedding rehearsal dinner. So Sydney Sweeney was at Glenn Powell's sister's rehearsal dinner.
Yeah, I mean, I ship it.
I ship it, sure, but like that's just like how dark that is about thinking about like your girlfriend's like your fiance's a major movie star, and then she goes on a set with like Glenn Powell or somebody in that ilk. Like imagine Craig Conover dating Sydney Sweeney. He would lose his fucking shit.
Oh my God. No, Sydney Sweeney and her fiance have been engaged, quote unquote, for years. It's like, was this wedding ever going to happen? Like, if you haven't gotten married by now, like, was it ever going to happen?
And if you study Hollywood, like just in the statistics of actual Hollywood, unfortunately, these kind of relationships don't last, especially when you're thrust into this kind of fame. Also, they're filming Euphoria finally, season 3. And did you hear Zendaya's getting $1 million per episode for each of these episodes?
Damn, that's how they got her back.
Female actress now, in terms of television, $1 million per episode for the new season of Euphoria, which she deserves for that, I think.
Yeah, I mean, that's how they got her back. I don't think it's like doing anything for her career at this point. And like, I don't know. I'm shocked that it's actually coming back, but that's why they're spending a lot of money on it.
I didn't watch this last night yet, but Morgan Wallen, the country singer, was on Saturday Night Live doing a performance. At the Good Nights, he walked off like straight down the camera barrel. Like you're usually supposed to go backstage. He just walked off. And then on Instagram, on one of his stories, he had his private jet and he's like, "Take me back to God's country." And I don't know, man. I don't care. Whatever. But also, if you don't want to be someplace, don't. Like it's the same fucking shit as don't do it then. It's like Chappell Roan and Call Her Daddy. Don't do it. Like if you are you are successful enough where you do not have to do things like that. But also then to be a crybaby about it, and then I hate when people invoke God's name, like I'm gonna bring as you a shot of your private jet on an airfield, like give me a break, dude.
Yeah, like no one's forcing you to do SNL, but also how many times does Morgan Wallen have to show us who he is? Like he's a horrible person. Like why is anyone surprised?
That's what I love fandoms, because fandoms will defend that shit. Like it does not matter what we say at all. They'll defend you should be able to say the N-word, or you should be able to do this. You should be able to because they just like him. And I just feel like that is so what was the last time he got arrested last year? Was it last year or year before when he threw the chair off the Nashville bar from the top of it and it landed it almost hurt somebody?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
He's a piece of shit. We know that. We've been new.
Okay. Finally, today, this is where I need Sophie to talk me through this. I think I have a little guy crush right now. And I last night when I was on the Wacky Tobacco, I forgot the other thing we did was we watched a bunch of Architectural Digest celebrity homes.
Yeah.
Have you ever done that?
Yeah.
I love the videos. But we watched Benny Blanco's Architectural Digest.
Okay, you know what?
I think he got me, dude. I think I'm in love with Benny Blanco. And I feel so I feel like I might be suckered into this. But and Rebecca's in love with him. And I'm in love with him too. And we're in love with this dude. He was taking us around his house, not personally on the YouTube video. And each room he was like, "This is I just love Friends." And he seemed kind of genuine. And I loved his style. And I was like, am I in love with Benny Blanco?
Yeah, no, he got me too. He's been all over my For You page. I guess this interview, I forgot with who, that him and
Selena
Selena did.
Gomez talking about relationships.
Yeah, and he goes, "I wake up every single day and I ask myself, how can I make this woman happy?" And she does the same
Rebecca
thing for me.
sent that to me, and that's where I kind of draw a line with Benny, where I was like, "You're taking it too far with that."
No, but I believe him. I think he's being genuine. I think that he's authentically a good guy. And also learning that he is behind every major pop song from the 2010s. Musical genius.
That Dynamite song, "In the Air Sometimes," singing
yeah.
I didn't know that was him. But it is wild how many hit songs he's been a part of throughout. Yeah. So he has his own money, but he also knows how to cook. He's got his own weird funky style. His house was so cool. And I'm then he's on there rapping about relationships and saying he's just so much more evolved than I am. And I didn't get mad about it. I just fell in love. I didn't get mad. I didn't get let's turn this shit off. I wasn't like that. I just got really man, if I could do it all over again, I would try to be more like Benny Blanco,
Yeah, I mean, but he's doing something right.
I wanted to ask you because I figured you might know some dirt where you're no, you didn't know about this.
No, I think from everything I've seen, he's actually a really good guy.
Well, so in a
I'm sorry to
sense, and
disappoint.
I don't want to upset any Beliebers out there, but in a sense, Selena might like be in like a better spot than Justin is right now, because Justin, he went live on Instagram for like 11 or 12 minutes last night, and he was like, I don't know if he was listening to his music or what, but he seemed really out of it.
You know what I keep thinking about every time Justin Bieber like pops up now on Instagram? I keep thinking about how I'm like, I don't like this crowd. They look like they're trouble.
Wait, what is this?
When you were like last week, you were like, these friends that he's hanging out with.
Oh yeah,
like
yeah.
trouble.
I was looking at Justin Bieber's Instagram, and then he's like, "These guys do not look. These guys look like the crowd from the wrong side of the tracks." And you know, he probably has to pay for all their food because they're always out at restaurants, and he's always wearing like floppy clothes and weird shoes. And I love style is style, but I get scared that he might be on something more than wacky tobacco. Like that's my fear. And like he has a kid, he has Hailey Bieber, and like you were telling me, I think last week, Hailey Bieber's fine. She has her own money through Road Beauty, but like I don't know. Like I just feel like this kid's in a really dark space. And come on, Justin Bieber's really talented. He's what a great singing voice, but I'm just nervous for him.
Yeah, so I actually got a DM the other day that was like, I know for a fact, I have an inside source. I know for a fact that Justin is not on anything harder than weed. He is just kind of like a little bit in a weird mental spot, but he is not doing any hard drugs. He's just smoking a lot of weed and drinking and stuff like
So you're
that.
telling us Hailey Bieber DMs you?
It was Hailey. It was Hailey. She was like, let's put the word out there.
Girl, we need to talk.
She's like woman to woman.
That makes me feel good though, because I don't want it to be like I find out that he's on like some kind of like heroin or anything.
Well,
like
that's
that,
what I honestly assumed. Like when everyone was like, there was like a cloud of smoke around him. I was like, he's smoking crack. I was like, he is acting like a crackhead. But this person was like, I can assure you that he's not. And I don't know. Do I believe it? I don't know. I didn't verify this source. I was just like, okay, sure. So I'm just throwing it out there that he could be completely not on hard drugs. You know, like I feel like we're all assuming that there's some sort of substance.
I think because we want there to be we always are looking for a reason why somebody's behaving the way they do, and drugs are always like an easy thing of like, oh, it's the drugs, you know,
right?
And usually it's like the pain behind the thing that gets you to the drugs in the first place that people don't treat. And we still have like the Diddy stuff that there's a big question mark on all of that shit. Okay, what are you watching this week? What are you recommending? Obviously, Snarkbait. We got 2 episodes of Snarkbait coming up.
Yes.
5 stars. But what are we watching? What are we reading? What are we listening to?
I finished the Karen Reed documentary on Max.
Wasn't it well done? Didn't you think it was well done?
It was very well done, and I still don't know what to think. Like I have no idea what happened.
But I will say, I think there is enough
to acquit her.
There is enough reasonable doubt that I think she will be acquitted, but I still don't know what happened.
I completely agree. I think it's really weird that the Albert's dog, that it looked like
the guy that threw his phone away.
Yeah, he threw his phone away. And then he was like, yeah, we got rid of the dog, Chloe, the German Shepherd. I'm like, what the fuck did Chloe do? Well,
Chloe bit like another neighbor, supposedly, the dog. So that's why they had to rehome the dog. But then I was like, well, then let's go find Chloe. Let's go get to the rehome place and talk to Chloe the dog, you know?
Oh my God. I don't know what to think.
Did you see on the second trial, though, one of the jurors that never actually deliberated, but one of the alternate jurors now joined Karen Reed's case as a lawyer because one of the jurors was an actual lawyer and never deliberated, was just an alternate juror, and now she signed up to be on Karen Reed's defense.
And thinks that Karen Reed is that innocent that she's like, I need to help out.
Well, who knows what? I mean, I never trust anybody with anything. Like, defense lawyers can spin anything.
Yeah.
So... but she has joined Karen Reed's legal team, which is so interesting. And also, I didn't realize if you were a lawyer, you could still sit on juries. I feel like that's like taking performance-enhancing drugs, you know?
I know. I'm like, is that like a conflict of interest somehow?
Yeah. But I thought it was so well done. It was just like it really didn't kind of lead you in any direction, and it like just presented a bunch of information.
Yeah, I'm just confused.
But having the behind the scenes of Karen Reed, it also kind of you grapple with. Like, oh, it seems like she's kind of enjoying this fame in a way. But then you're like, how would I be if I was in that situation, you know?
They're like, her fans are like Swifties or gigglers. They're like very intense. Stoolies.
Dude, Karen Reed's going to sell out 2 nights at Radio City Music Hall.
Yeah. Oh my God. I think it's going to be like a whole stadium tour.
Does Giggly Squad ever do guests? Will they welcome Karen Reed at any point? Or
I don't think they do, but like maybe.
Will Nick Viall welcome Karen Reed?
Oh my God, Nick Viall. Wait, I'm like picturing the teaser.
Will Karen Reed be on The Traitors?
And then, oh my God, no, I'm picturing her literally on Nick Vialli's like couch where she puts on the headphones and then it's like going deeper, you know?
I told him, John, I didn't have John. Where are you, John?
Yeah. And Nick is like, so when they charged you with second degree instead of manslaughter, how did that feel?
And if I interviewed Karen Reed, I'd be like, do you watch Vanderpump Rules?
Yeah, I'm sure she does. You know she watches.
Have you ever done enough coke to kill a small horse, Karen?
You know she has. That girl loves a good time.
So you watched the Karen Reed trial. That was awesome. We have the finale of White Lotus next Sunday. Atlanta, Beverly Hills. We're in the reunion
Top
time.
Chef. Don't forget about Top
Survivor.
Chef.
I love this season. Southern Charm, second part of the reunion. Summer House. Another episode where we get to see Lil the Magician with Carl again on the soft bar opening. So there is plenty of TV out there. I recommend The Pit as well. And just let us know what you're watching and what we should be checking out. But I'm gonna go sleep off this little hangover bee. Or I'm trying to. What does Jesse Solomon call hangovers? Are you feeling a little hangy bees?
You got a hangy, bro?
You got a hangy bee? Are you doing a slum bee with the hangies?
Should we have a slum bee, bro? You're giving off neggy energy
wait. I forgot. We did text that night, but wasn't that an intense scene on White Lotus when the brother was jerking off the other brother?
Oh, yeah. I like can't think about it too much because then I picture like me and my sister.
Why would you think about your sibling?
No, I think anyone with a sibling is like, ew!
I have a sibling. I never didn't think about that. I didn't think about my sister.
I'm sorry, Amanda, if you're listening, I'm sorry to just make our relationship weird.
I didn't think about my sister at
No,
all.
but I think anyone with a sibling, you're like, ew! You think it's like the grossest thing in the world. Like, it's so gross.
Well, and also the kid, I mean, but he was like, I listened to that actor talk about it, and he was like saying like, well, that the kid like wants to impress his brother, and like he thought his brother would like that, and I just thought it was. I always think it's interesting hearing actors explain their motivations and stuff. So I still don't know who's going to be the one that gets killed. I think it's up.
Because tonight is the penultimate episode, I think that shit's gonna really go down tonight. So I'm really excited. I think I might smoke a Blunsky.
Smoke weed every day.
Yeah, I'm trying to like do it in Jesse Solomon speak.
Are you gonna smoky the blunty?
I'm gonna smoky a J-ski. You know?
Oh, I gotta go put air in Rebecca's tires, so that's what I'm doing right now.
Oh, that's fun.
Because I know Benny Blanco would do that, so that's what I'm
He would. He would wake up every day and say, how can I make Rebecca happy?
Fuck you, Benny Blanco. Okay, go listen to Snarkbait, you guys. Bye, guys.
Bye.